tell me about the mistakes that we're making in our about section.
LinkedIn about sections that are written by ChatGPT are all exactly the same. So someone who's looking through LinkedIn profiles to see candidates they like, they're going to see it. They're going to be like, wow, that's exactly the same as the other person's. Yeah, you subbed out this word for this word because it's describing you. But like the sentence structure, the flow, it's identical. You clearly didn't try very hard at this. I don't feel like I'm getting to know you better. That's why I would say no to that. That's the biggest mistake. Welcome to Next Job Now.
The podcast where we help you get your next job
right now. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Greg Langstaff. I'm a certified resume strategist. I've written over 2,000 resumes, and I love helping people get new jobs.
And I'm Jeff, and I have a lot of questions about job searching. Together, we're going to talk about everything you need to know about landing your next role.
Indeed.
Today, we are talking about the biggest mistakes you can make on LinkedIn. We're going to talk about profile errors, poor connections, messaging mistakes, cold calling, and how you can engage in LinkedIn in the right way. LinkedIn is the social media platform for careers.
Yeah.
But a lot of us use it, I would say, just as an online resume. And we're really missing out, I think, on the full functionality of the platform. And if I'm being honest, I don't use LinkedIn personally very often. However, I can acknowledge, though, that it is a mistake to underestimate how effective LinkedIn can be in landing your next role. Would you agree?
Well, yeah. I mean, LinkedIn is like the first stop when an employer sees your resume, likes your resume. The very next thing they're usually going to do is check out your LinkedIn profile. So yeah, if you're proud of your resume, and if you're not, check out episodes 1 and 2 of this podcast. But if you're proud of your resume, you better be proud of your LinkedIn because it's just as big a part of your job search. And sometimes the recruiters are even finding you on LinkedIn first before they'll ever see your resume.
So you think, or you're saying that people are reviewing resumes and then will actually follow up and go to our LinkedIn pages?
Yeah, and sometimes like the applicant tracking system, the ATS that they're using is going to pull them both up side by side. So they're literally going to be comparing your resume to your LinkedIn profile.
It's that integrated into the hiring process.
This sometimes, especially if you apply through LinkedIn.
Good point. And then you're talking about that sometimes recruiters are on LinkedIn and they're going to find me.
Yeah.
Is that because they're looking for candidates for a role and they're going to reach out to me? And is it HR? Is it hiring managers? Or is that third-party recruiters who are hired to go find someone for a company?
That's a great question. Let's clear that up right now. So recruiters, there's generally 2 types. There's like a company has a recruiting staff. This is usually when they're like a big company or they're like a smaller company that's like growing really fast. They might hire some recruiters and they're like just day-to-day jobs to go find talent to apply to their jobs and get them in to fill like important roles or any roles. Then there's also like a recruiting agency. Mm-hmm. So a company hires this agency or even sometimes individual people to go find them talent for roles that they're trying to fill. Those recruiters get paid if you get hired. So like they're highly incentivized to find lots of good candidates, get them to apply to these roles, and then even coach and support them in like applying. So if a recruiter reaches out to you, like I'm not going to say a golden ticket, but that's great because they're going to help you.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit more about getting our profile seen by recruiters and how we can attract people reaching out to us. Mm-hmm. But let's chat about the potential mistakes that we are probably all making. So if someone was to go and fix one thing on their profile today, what is it?
I'd say like the description of your experience section. So like under each job, people act like no one's making decisions based on seeing your LinkedIn, and you work so hard to like write your resume bullet points just right to like sell yourself. And then on LinkedIn they're like, here's my job title. You'll get it. You'll get it. But like people are getting to your LinkedIn first in many occasions. They need to see what you accomplished in each role there as well. So like it's super easy. You already wrote these resume bullet points. Again, if you haven't, episodes 1 and 2 of this podcast, check them out. Or check out my free resume writing course on YouTube as well. But like take those bullet points from your resume, just pop them into your LinkedIn profile.
But if we say we really dramatically update our resume, maybe we watched a bunch of your videos.
Yeah.
And here's a new bullet point system. Do you recommend going back to all of their old ones to update so it's consistent structure? Or
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, This is a different question.
Okay. Well, yes. If you've learned a better way to write your bullet points, and you think like you can go back a few jobs and just make those like more convincing that you're good at the things you're saying you've done, then like heck yeah, of course.
Okay. So go right now. One thing that you can take away from this episode is update your experience section and put the effort. You already made the bullets, just pop them in.
Yeah. If you're going to bail on this podcast now, at least go do that.
Don't stay.
Don't bail.
Don't bail.
Be sad.
Greg, what are your thoughts when you visit a LinkedIn profile and they have the LinkedIn generic silhouette as their photo?
Disappointment.
Tell me more.
Because it's a complete lack of effort. Like, firstly, people are also going to your LinkedIn to feel like they're getting to know you a little bit better, and like it just looks like you didn't put in the effort. Like, oh, you don't care about this profile. You didn't even put your picture in.
Yeah. Does it need to be a recent photo? Should we be updating that every year?
Okay. Yeah. Great question. So, yes, it should be fairly recent. I think you got like most of us have about 3 to 4 years where it's like ethically still the same looking person.
I was going to say, I finally updated my LinkedIn profile when I had a hairstyle change. That was my cue to change it up. Can't show up to this interview with my LinkedIn.
Oh, I'm looking forward to meeting Jeff and his luscious locks.
Exactly. Tell me about the mistakes that we're making in our about section.
But the biggest mistake the last 2 years, if that gives you a hint what I'm going to say, the last 2 years, the biggest mistake I see in a LinkedIn about section is using ChatGPT to write said about section.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being, like, I want to go on record. Nothing wrong with using like generative AI to help you write or whatever. But the LinkedIn about sections that are written by ChatGPT are all exactly the same. So someone who's looking through LinkedIn profiles to see candidates they like, they're going to see it. They're going to be like, wow, that's exactly the same as the other person's. Yeah, you subbed out this word for this word because it's describing you. But like the sentence structure, the flow, it's identical. You clearly didn't try very hard at this. I don't feel like I'm getting to know you better. That's why I would say no to that. That's the biggest mistake.
What do you recommend when someone is creating their custom URL? And I'm going to add a little extra because you're going to say your name. What if your name's taken? What
Like your name.
Yeah. So like a common name where Jeffrey Collins, so linkedin.com/your name is taken. I know you don't recommend birth years. I know you don't recommend other things. What's our way to get around that? Especially if it's got to be the same name that we're on our resume. So how are we getting around these mistakes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the URL, like, again, customizing your LinkedIn URL, it's another way to just show effort. Mm-hmm. Like we have attention to detail and something important comes up, like the literal web address of our LinkedIn profile. So yeah, if your name is taken, and like some of us have it lucky, I got my exact name. It's linkedin.com/in/Greg Langstaff / There's a slash at the end. There's a slash at the end. if you can't do that, things like your middle initial, your middle name, it's not as big a deal as like your actual name on LinkedIn, like what your profile says. That should match your resume exactly. But the URL, like there's some flexibility. So middle name, middle initial. If you have like maybe your like MBA, you can add that to the end. And if all else fails, like just a random number, 1, 2. Just don't put 1974. Like we don't want your birth year in there.
Should I remove my outdated licenses or certificates once they expire?
I'm gonna say no. Like I because I like as long as it's transparent that the certification has expired. Like there's a million examples. We'll just say CPR for
I was
example.
gonna say, yeah, first aid, 1989.
Okay, yes, 1989, yes. Like I wouldn't want something in there that's like 15 years expired. But let's say you had like CPR is such a bad example, but
It's a good example because it needs to be refreshed so frequently.
okay, whatever your professional version of the CPR certification is, I'd rather see you had it and it expired than like have you just leave it in, or sorry, then have you take it out, because then like the skill is there. They're like, okay, Jeff has known CPR. Jeff has known advanced Excel. Yeah, you might not be up to date, but I'm trusting it'd be a lot easier for you to catch up, recertify, and like catch up your skills because you used to be trained and like certified in doing that. So yeah, it's still a way to show a skill, an expired certification. You just have to, you can't lie about its validity currently.
Let's talk about connecting and making connections on LinkedIn. What would you say to someone who loves to connect with every single person they ever meet?
Oh, nothing wrong with connecting with everyone you've met.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, I don't have a huge problem with like connecting with random people on LinkedIn either, because like if you start posting on your LinkedIn, like they're gonna see that. So if like you're proud of your profile, you're proud of the things you're sharing on LinkedIn, no harm in that. What I think like the problem, like the biggest warning I have about people connecting on LinkedIn is like, don't botch like the chance to connect with someone who's gonna matter to you at some point. So like, let's say you connect with someone at a networking event, or you're just reaching out like cold, but they're like they work at a company you want to work at, or they might have some information you'd like to get from them. Like, don't do the connect without a note. Like we need to send them some sort of a message that explains like why we're connecting. If that's like, hey, it was great meeting you last night, or like, hey, I think your company is amazing. I just wanted to connect, and hopefully, if it's okay, I might ask a question or two at some point. Like just like that's your moment where you have their attention. They haven't really formed an opinion of you yet, to do something nice rather than just being like, connect.
If I'm interested in applying to a marketing manager role at a company,
Yeah.
should I reach out to someone like Vice President Communications?
You can certainly try. I just want to temper everyone's expectations that like that used to be a unique strategy, and now it's like commonplace. So like people are applying to jobs and then doing this like basic low level networking, and it's like they're getting dozens if not hundreds of these messages. So I just temper expectations if we're going to try that.
Now, we've thrown some shade at Easy Apply in the past on this podcast. Let's talk a little bit more. Why is it so risky?
Here's my big beef with Easy Apply on LinkedIn. People are using it to apply to jobs they have no business applying to. Like, if you have spent the hours optimizing your LinkedIn profile. By the way, if you haven't, check out my free LinkedIn profile checklist. It's on you can get it through my social medias. If you've optimized your LinkedIn profile and you're so proud of it, and it's tailored to like the jobs you want, and your resume is tailored to the exact jobs you're going to apply to, sure, you can click Easy Apply for that job. Like, how many times do we get a message from someone who's looking for help on their resume or something, and they're saying something like, I've applied to 400 jobs this month.
This month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't I getting any answers? It's because you're using Easy Apply and you're not thinking about your candidacy for that job. Like, that doesn't count. It doesn't count as applying to a job.
You gotta slow down.
Yeah.
Moving on to some other mistakes that we might make on LinkedIn.
Oh boy. We're already riled up.
I like getting riled up. How should we be adjusting how we engage with LinkedIn compared to our other social media platforms?
We're talking like posting?
Posting, engaging.
Every post on LinkedIn should start with, "It is with mixed emotions that I announce."
Every post.
It does feel like generally pretty fake, and like it's the first place people are going to like replicate another post that they saw that was like effective, because it's just usually just words or a simple graphic, you know. Anyway, the advice for the job seeker posting on LinkedIn, like, we do want to make sure we're representing ourselves in a nice professional way, kind of like we would at a conference or a meeting. So like, yeah, I get it that people are a little guarded with how they're posting on LinkedIn because you're being judged completely differently.
You can't be venting on LinkedIn because this is a career platform.
Yeah, and there's a feature on your profile. When any random person goes to your profile on LinkedIn, there is a section called activity, and it's showing every comment you've made, every post you've liked, every post you've posted. So like, consider your actions interacting with people on LinkedIn to be part of your profile. That's my advice.
What about engage? Like, we have to engage. Like, you have to comment, you have to be out there networking using LinkedIn. Do you recommend the AI generated comment?
Obviously not. I like, we're trying to connect with people. Like, just clicking two buttons doesn't give you. Speaking of just clicking buttons to connect with people, I have a crazy story. Just had this client reach out, who I worked with a couple months ago, and they got 2 interviews from CEOs of smaller companies just by liking the content that the CEO posted. It was like, CEO posts something, this client likes the person's post, CEO sees the name, goes to the profile, sees it's super relevant to the work, invites them to interview for a job. That's kind of cool.
That's a fantastic, like, you don't even have to comment or like type any words.
Yeah, I mean, it probably would have worked better if you did type words, but it worked for this person. Also, to toot my own horn a little bit,
yeah,
this person had an amazing LinkedIn profile that I made.
Yes.
So LinkedIn services also available in my must-hire packages on my website, greglangstaff.com. And I also offer LinkedIn profile reviews. So if you think your profile is pretty good and you want to make sure, check out the LinkedIn profile reviews.
Amazing. Well, Greg, it's now time for Unusual Interviews. The segment where we ask each other questions that we hope you never get asked in an interview. Greg, if you could recruit any fictional character to join our podcast, who would it be?
I'm going to go with my favorite fictional podcast character of all time. His name's Usador the Blue. He's a wizard from Hello from the Magic Tavern. And he brings such a good energy, but he's got like a kind heart. But I would love to hear his thoughts on job searching. I know certain opinions he has are pretty strong. He hates swallows, hates the bird swallows.
Yeah, I figured.
But yeah, Usador would be a lovely
Usador.
guest. Usador, yeah. Hello from the Magic Tavern. It's my favorite fictional podcast. All right, well, thanks for tuning into the podcast. Next week, we're going to be talking all about networking. I know it's awkward, but it's also super important, and it doesn't have to be awkward.
It doesn't have to be.
We could be networking with our friends, our family, coworkers. Like, there's a lot of nice, easy ways to networking that aren't going to like a soiree in the evening and standing in an awkward horseshoe shape around a recruiter, which I've done. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.